Hi traders, Anthony here. What I want to talk about in this video is the London Open, trading the London Open, what to look for and how you can potentially anticipate where the market might be heading. I've got my Forex layout here. Down here is the currency strength indicator. So at the moment I'm looking at the pound dollar. Dollar is red, pound is yellow. So we're seeing a little bit of a dollar looks like it's catching a bid at the moment. It's on the daily and the pound's falling off, and you can see that here. But beyond that, what I want to do is actually go over to the 15-minute chart. I'll take out the trend channel, trend bars, and I'll just leave the Forex sessions on here. This blue line here, this is the London Open. I've actually got this down here, start London session. This one here is New York session. This one's the Asian session back here, Asian session, and then this one is the Aussie session. We'll just work with these at the moment. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look at what happens as we trade into the London Open on a regular basis. This is the Asian session through here. Market's trading up. London opens and it sells off. Prior to the London, it started to move up, and then we had it rotate and head in the other direction. Prior to the London Open, we get this trade up and then it rotates. Prior to the London Open, trades up and then rotates. Prior to the London Open, okay, trades up and rotates. Get a bit volatile, trades down. Prior to the London Open, trades down and then trades up. Prior to the London Open, see what I'm getting at, rotates, trades down. New York Open, London Open, it's trading down. This is a little bit tricky, this one. Trades up and then, well, it trades down. This is actually trading down before, and then the market opens and then it rotated a little bit after. But just be aware of, that one's a little bit tricky. Kind of like before the London Open it started selling off. I mean that, you'll see that coming into the London Open. That's a bit messy. Prior to the London Open, and then it rotates. See what I'm getting at, right? Okay. This is a pound dollar London Open, trades down and then we get a rotation. So we can look for trade opportunities after the London Open, and I mean trading into the New York. So you know it's trading up prior to New York and then it sells off. Have a look at New York. So New York we trade down. That's pretty full on. And then we trade up. London, you know, it'll move down into London and then it'll trade in the opposite direction. Well, it kind of like rotated pretty early on here. I'm interested in what goes on around the London Open, but you know, I mean, you can catch the same thing happening in the New York session here. So essentially, they load up, money is made here, they take profit at the end of the day, well, at the end of the session. New York opens, they load up, and it trades up. London trades down here, you know, it trades up and then we get a sell-off. But here's the rotation here quickly, but be careful, you can get caught out. This is why we do our 80% early. Well, this one just traded up and then continued up, okay. It's okay, trades up and then it rotates, trades down into New York and then it rotates. Right, so this is the current time now, this is where we are tonight. And we can see this trading down. And what I want to do now is bring in our indicators, the trend bars to start with. Let me just clear all this. We want to be aware of, see these shaded levels. This is where we can expect the market to interact. The other thing you want to do is you want to mark out the range, the Asian range, so you have a bit of an idea of the high and low of the Asian range. A conservative approach would be to wait for a break and retest in the opposite, like if this trades down, wait for the break and retest of this range high. The other thing you want to be careful of as well is the Asian low here. This can smash through a lot of traders think this is heading south, and then it'll rotate and trade in the other direction. You want to wait for the break and retest of the session high or low. Generally I'm looking for the rotation here. Most likely, if this trades south, I'll probably let it go. But if we see this trading up, I wouldn't mind taking it, because you can generally ride this right through the London session. So let's just take this to the next level then. We'll go out of here. We'll go to our 5-minute chart. We're going to open this up now. On here we have our trend channel, trend bars, and the Forex sessions. Now, I'm going to ignore the trade into the London Open. That's a valid signal here, but I'm not going to take that. Let's just go back and see what we get around London market. All right, so we got one signal. It's generally, we're generally looking for the two of these together, and I think if we went to a 3-minute chart, we could work it from the 3-minute. Yeah, we get it on the 3-minute, righto. Let's just scrunch this up. Asian session high, Asian session low, London Open, trades up into the London Open, and then we get the rotation. There's our signal. It's the break of the low of the Asian session. Our signal gives us that there, pull back into the mean, and we're away. Given that we have the probability factor kind of behind us, as soon as I see this second signal and I see any pullback and it starts stalling, I'm going to be in, more or less. But always go with our strategy. If this is your entry, go for your quick profits 80%, and then use the levels on the indicator here to trail the stop loss and follow it down. Okay, so let's just go back and have a look at this New York. That was a tricky one, wasn't it? But it paid off. But I'm just interested in the London session. Okay, this one's a bit tricky. But see, this is why you want to go for our valid signal. So where you see, red followed by green, we don't touch it. This is breaking into the cloud, but there's your signal. Break, retest. That was the London Open back here. We actually didn't get the follow through. See that? And the volatility. But we got the signal here. So at some stage during the London, after the London Open, we want to see the rotation. It could take a while, but wait for the signal. And it, in a lot of cases, it's going to come. It'll come during the London session. All right, what have we got here? See how it trades down. But what we want to be mindful of is what is it doing trading when the London session opens. So it's trading up into the London session. Don't trade into the London Open. Always trade after the London Open. That's your signal there. That's the trade. You're wanting to see the rotation, and then look at that. Okay, that's your trade. All right, so it's going to happen through the London session. Let's go back here. It's not picture perfect, but if you know what you're looking for, look at the rotation here. If you know what you're looking for, right, what have we got? So it's trading up. So we want to look for possible short. And we don't take any of this because it's choppy, but then we get our double signal here. There's our double signal, there's the pullback, and there's the short. London Open, it trades into the London Open. We're looking for the short after. Oh well, some are going to be better than others. Looking for the move into the London Open. Trades down into the London Open. We're looking for a long. Right, there it is, trading down into the London Open. Or we're just looking for the rotation. We're just looking for the rotation through the London session. That's not a signal. That's not a signal. Okay, this is your signal here. Right, it came late. But there's the rotation. And that was your trade there. Okay, you might have to wait for it. But, I think what we're seeing is when the London market opens, there's going to be a double triangle signal for us after the London Open. Don't take it going in. If it's trading up into the London Open, look for the opposite trade. There, that's your trade there. Beautiful trade. What do we get out of that? Nice. Okay, Okay, whatever direction it crosses this blue line, we're looking for the opposite trade. Go back. All right, so tonight we're trading down into the London Open, so I want to see the rotation. We're looking for the signal. So what's it doing? Okay, as the London Open's here, so it's trading down. Kind of traded up and traded down, and it's a little bit tricky. But I mean, I think the bottom line is wait for the double signal after the London Open, and generally it's going to be in the opposite direction to where it traded in. Okay, so it traded up, then it went down. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit tricky, but we have the signals. We're waiting for the double signal. We don't get it here, we don't get it here, followed by that green, red, you know, we don't get it. Okay, that's just a choppy market, so be careful. Tell you what you can trade though, these dots, there they are, they'll be fun. But here we get, it's the breakout of the London session then, and that's your trade there. There's the break into the cloud, there's no interruption, and there's the breakout of the cloud directly after. That's your trade there. Alright, so I guess every London session you're looking for the double signal setup. Go for the 3-minute chart. Don't trade into the London Open, trade out of the London Open, or out from the market opening. Look at New York here, look at that. Alright, what happened here? It traded in, traded down into it. We got our double signal. Alright, here's the thing. Entry on the pullback here long. Again, stop loss, we're going outside of the our thing. Sometimes it's going to wick down and take you out. But what we're doing is we're entering and we're taking 80% early. And then we're pulling our stop loss up and we're just continually taking money out of the market. It's a winning trade. Alright, I mean, go back and have a look at it for yourself. Have a look at the signals, study it. And I mean, you know, there's the New York session. You could be doing the same thing around, you know, the London, the New York. Pretty volatile at times. Well, here we are. Look, London trades down, and then there's our trade out. There it is, right here. And there's our entry. Stay in it. You could have closed up here, but that's your signal. You got the double triangles there. All right. So golden rule. You don't trade into the London Open. We trade out of the London Open. And the same thing applies with the New York. I've just been posting my progress with this into the Telegram channel. Okay, so this is where we go our 80% done and dusted, money in the bag. So now we can pull our stop loss up, and if you want to, you can follow it here. So let's just have a look and see. Yep, so let's just have a look and see. What have we got? We've got $46 closed. All right, so I'll pull the stop loss down to follow here, 29. Say 30. All right, so this is $15 in profit if this stop loss gets hit. Risk-free from here on. Now, it's up to you, but you can widen your stop loss if you want to. 46, right? If you want to, this is a break even back here. Okay, that's break even with fees covered. Give it a bit more room to breathe if you want to. So when this gains a bit more ground, you know, you can follow it up. Yeah, just see how it goes. And anyway, I'll stay with this for a bit. I'm still trying to do the video. This is the video. I'm doing the video. Okay, right, nice outcome. Let's just see what we get out of this. Notice that the shaded area is up here, so there's a resistance level up here. I'll wind up the video actually, because this is pretty well self-explanatory. From here on, we just basically trail it, you know, as far as we want to go. See, up here we've got a level. This golden line here, that's a weekly level. This one's a daily level, and see the light-colored shaded area here. This light-colored shaded area goes back a certain distance. It's limited, but these lines go back further. So we're getting some really good historical data on the chart here, and I mean they're going to be our levels. You know, T2 you could take another partial profit here if you want to, but you know, look, I'm just going to get rid of that. My thing will just be to keep following this up. See how these dots are moving? Well, we can, you know, if you want to, you can move with this external here. So I mean, you know, keep the distance, and there's dots here. But at some stage, if this moves up, I will want to bring my stop loss up closer, and that'll increase the overall. But let's just gain a bit of distance with it first. You know, wait until we're up around here somewhere. See, we've got a gap to trade through. See this dark patch here? This is a price gap, so we should see a nice move from here up to at least up around here somewhere. So that should trade quite nicely up through here. I'll just finish the video now. Give me a thumbs up, guys. Help me build the channel.